Happy Monday. Let's see, get myself situated here. Why can't I? If you're watching on replay, let me know in the comments, hashtag replay. Just trying to get my video and the comments loaded up here. There we go. I think I'm all right. So we're playing around with a new mic. So I might have to put my little microphone back on, but Facebook now says it's got a thing that keeps me from having so much background noise. So we'll see how this goes. Good. All right. Melissa says I'm good. Yay. Always changing stuff around here. So as you're popping on, tell me hi, tell me what you're working on, tell me how your 4th of July weekend was, if you did any celebrating. Sound is good. Excellent. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Nicole. I know quite a few of you are working on your Astropop. Here on Friday, we had Nicole and Karen and Melissa and Joyce all working on theirs. I know Holly is working on hers. So that is the 4-day knit along. That's not really a 4-day knit along. But it's a fun sweater knit along. Hi, Oriana. Um, how much knitting did you get done this weekend, Oriana, or did you just hang out by the water and on the horses? It had to be hot on the horses when it was like 90 some degrees, but maybe if you get everybody in the water, it cools it down a bit. I got to see the Saginaw fireworks for the first time this year. We've always gone to the Bay City fireworks, and I had never had an opportunity to see the Saginaw ones. This year I did, and they were pretty good. I did see some comments that they were the grand finale wasn't as big a deal this year as big a part of it this year as it had been in the past, but I love me some fireworks. My dogs don't mind, my cats don't mind. I like being closer when I get that, like you can feel the boom in your chest. And we were a little bit further away, but that's okay. We didn't have to fight with the crowds. Hi, Mama. Yes, you enjoyed some time with your daughter and her boyfriend over the weekend. Hi, Aunt Jackie. All right, so it's after 7. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to Monday Motivation. Today is July 7th. Hi, Chris. 2025. My name is Kristen. I'm the owner of the Little Yarn Shop located in Saginaw, Michigan, inside the SVRC Marketplace. Marketplace hours for the whole market are Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Our shop, the Little Yarn Shop, our hours are, that's a lot to say. Our hours are Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. The farmers market is happening now on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So be aware of that when you're coming and parking that. If you're here during farmers market hours, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturday, be cautious of people walking back and forth. Remember that you can't park by the pavilion where the farmers market sets up. Hi, Amy. Motivation is good. Yes, motivate everybody. So they're starting to get more things in. It looks like even though we have alarms set, or Karen used to have an alarm set to remind us to get out to the farmer's market a half hour before it closes. A lot of times that never happens, but it's looking like they've got broccoli and cauliflower and tomatoes. I think the strawberries are done or pretty close, but now the blueberries are coming in. So hi, Sarah, just back from PA, saw 2 fireworks in the Pittsburgh area. Awesome. Very cool. So let's see. What else? Again, if you're working on the Astropop, tell me how that's coming. I know there were a couple hiccups. Melissa and I were just talking about before I went live that it's a pattern that can sometimes lull you into oh overconfidence maybe is the way to put it. Doing what you think the pattern says to do versus actually reading the pattern. So might miss some increases or some slip stitches, but that's all part of the process. You all have seen Karen and me both rip back multiple things, and it's just part of the process sometimes. It doesn't make sense to power through and just try to continue on because we want to be proud of and happy with whatever we finish with. And so the way to do that is to do it right, whether that takes one time or four times. We'll get there eventually. So let's talk about knitting and stuff. I am going to talk a little bit about all of these beautiful yarns behind me. I just opened a box and put a couple of them out here. I don't have them in the system yet, but I wanted to just kind of highlight that they're here. So, but let's talk about what I'm wearing. You might have seen me wearing this in a photo I posted on Friday, or Pearls posted on Friday. This is the strawberry tea tank, and strawberry tea like the drink. I did not knit this. Jody knit this. Unfortunately, something happened between when she swatched and when she knit it. And she was knitting two at the same time. Let's see, what's Cheryl say? Working on the Astropop, 3 more increased sets till sleeve divide. Excellent. Very cool. Melissa did post a link in the comments to our craft along group. So if you're not part of that, feel free to go over there, join us. Request to join, we can approve that and share your progress, your pictures, whether it's that or anything else. We like inspiration. We like being able to share in each other's trials and triumphs. So this is the strawberry tea. It's knit with bamboo pop sock. This yarn, if you've not worked with it, so the bamboo pop sock, one of the tricky things about it, and I think maybe that's what happened with the top, is it has a lot of elasticity to it. It's a great non-wool sock yarn for people if you like, or if you have people in your life that don't like wool socks and want an alternative. It's really soft. I've used this solids to make my typo tank and the summer trellis top. Hi, Joan. From like the actual zoo or from like the Kalamazoo? Joan says good evening from the zoo. If you're at the actual zoo, it's probably a good day for it. It's not terribly hot. So this is the color that Jody used for this tank, and it's a bottom up. I'm going to stand up so you can see the bottom because there is a little bit. Mary, yes, it does come in solids. I've used it for a few different projects, and I'll go over some colors of the solids too in a little bit, but you can't really see it very well, but there's this cute little lace detail. It's got kind of a little, I don't know if you would call it a bobble or a picot cast on, a little bit of lace. It's knit in the round until you have to split for the front and the back, and then for the left and right sides. So she knit two of these. Jody knit two of these at the same time. She was working on both of them. One was like wasn't hemp, but it was some sort of plant fiber yarn, and that yarn doesn't have any stretch to it. And I think that's maybe what made a difference with gauge, because this yarn has a lot of stretch. So you have to be careful when you're swatching. You really need to make sure that you are knitting in the same manner you're going to knit your sweater. So that's one of the reasons we recommend a big swatch. You want to get comfortable in your rhythm. A lot of times when we start a swatch, it's real little. We try to measure from that, and it doesn't give us an accurate idea of how our actual knitting is because we're just so focused on it. Oriana, tried knitting while riding, did not work out well. My knitted sock is somewhere in Lake Michigan. Oh no. Oh, now I feel bad for even asking you last week when we talked about knitting and riding at the same time. Maybe you need like a fanny pack to put things in. Or maybe just enjoy riding the horse and not trying to combine too many loves at once. Oh, oh, what a bummer. So what I'm wearing is the strawberry tea. Another top made with the same yarn, but two strands together. And this is done with one solid and one self-striping. This is the Grasslands tank. Again, not something I made, something my mom made and is loaning to me to have as a shop sample for a little bit. So this is the Grasslands tank. You hold a strand, well, for the solid sections, you're holding two strands of the solid together. For the marl, you're holding one strand of the self-striping and one strand of the solid together. It gives you this really cool marled stripy look. This one is, I'm gonna say it's bottom up. Mom, you can chime in and say if I'm wrong, but looking at the stitching along the edges, my guess would be it's bottom up. And let me get all my other projects out of the way of my pile here. Um, the downside of these, and they're not even really donuts. I'm not a big fan of the donut yarns, but the yarns that come in a ball like this is if you put them on any flat surface or anything that's not contained, they tend to escape everywhere. So I have them just in a cardboard box in a chair next to me. Because I was playing with colors and combos. Oh, my solids are down at the bottom. So what was I playing with? This as a really fun combo, the yellow and the turquoise. So I did not look. One of the great things about Bamboo Pop Sock too is the yardage. There's almost 500 yards. Let's see. Top is knit in the round from the bottom up, front and back are separated. The underarm square neck, stitches for the straps are picked up from around the armhole, and then additional stitches are cast on. Straps are worked in the round. There we go. Look at that. Melissa's got my back. See, you guys saw me floundering last week when Melissa wasn't on here and I didn't know what to do. Hi, Donna. So almost 500 yards in one of these balls. So I believe for a good majority of the sizes, you need two of your solid and one of your self-striping. One of the other things I like is that they will give you a picture of what the yarn's going to look like if you just knit it on your own. So that's kind of what you see here. If you were to hold the two strands together, obviously you're going to get a more of a muted look, but we've got lots of colors to choose from. I just wanted to throw some ideas out. So this I think would be a really pretty summery combo. The yellow and the turquoise. Or if you wanted to go more turquoise, that would be really pretty. If you're a blue and teal girl, blue, teal, turquoise, that would be a fun combo. What else do I have here? That's the one Jody used. And then I thought this would be a really pretty pairing. And my ring light is kind of blowing out color a little bit. I mean, this is a pretty, I think they call it pomegranate. It's a really pretty red. It's not quite as bright as it looks on my camera anyway. Hiya, Margie. So I think that would be a pretty color combo. That would really pull out the reds. But this, what color is this? Serenity has that same color in there. So you would get the purples and the reds, which I think would be sharp. So lots of color combos. The yellow would be pretty with this pink one. We have a whole display of solids and the self-striping in that. So Mary, next time you come in, check that out. We will help you find something fun and pretty to play with. So those are the finished things. Neither thing is mine. I haven't finished anything yet, but I'm getting close on a cowl that you all haven't even seen yet because the yarn came midweek last week. I started it Thursday, decided since I've already done the Astro Pop, I don't need to work on that. I could work on a different project and try and get it done in 4 days, which didn't happen even for a cowl. So don't be hard on yourself if you think, oh, it's a 4-day sweater, I'm not getting it done in 4 days. If it takes you 4 years, that's okay. Sometimes we have other projects that take priority. Sometimes it needs to go on the back burner. Sometimes we have to take a break from knitting and crochet or quilt or cook or, work maybe. But what I am working on, I'll show you the two that I've shown before, and because I have made a little bit of progress on that. And then I'll show you my new project. So the two sweaters that I'm working on, one is my Winter Albina sweater. So I'm on the collar. I finally got the 6 inches of the collar done and that'll be rolled down. You could wear it scrunched or rolled over. All I have to do is I think 6 rows in the contrast color. Yes, Vicky, it's okay. It's okay. I ran into, there are people who choose not to knit in the summer. I don't understand it, but there are some people who choose not to knit in the summer. I ran into one of the ladies that we used to see a lot at the quilt shop at the thrift store today. And she said, I feel so bad. I haven't knit in a while and I want to come in and see you guys. I said, even if you come in and just say hi, don't feel guilty about not knitting. I understand it's not as easy to integrate into your life as it is for me to integrate it into mine, because this is my everyday life. It's Karen's everyday life. It's Deb's everyday life. But for some of you, we understand you have a lot going on. Don't let guilt keep you from staying away. Just pop in and say hi, even if that's all it is. Char, not doing anything. That's okay. Sometimes we need a break. And sometimes we need to just pick a simple project to get back into something. Okay, so my winter albina, front and back are done. The bottom ribbing is all done. It's got, remember that big split hem? Those are supposed to be the same length. I guess it's okay if the back is a little bit longer than the front. Maybe that'll just block out. So the collar is going to have the same 6 rows in the contrast color like the bottom does, and then it'll have a sewn bind off. So I'm almost done with the collar, and then I have to decide, like Jody keeps giving me a hard time about, am I going to leave it as a vest for the summer and work on a different project, or am I actually going to pick up and knit the sleeves like I should? And I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'll decide once it's bound off. But either way, that's okay too. I want to be able to give people as many visuals for different projects as I can. Yes, it's part about like, ooh, a new shiny thing, let me cast on the thing. But also I know that there is a lot of benefit into seeing a yarn knit up. Yeah, that'll block right out. Seeing a yarn knit up versus just seeing it in a hank. So that's one of the reasons I like to cast on so many things, because even if I don't finish it, you get to see a part of it, kind of like my Squirrels in Paradise, where it it gives you a good idea of what it's going to look like. Donna, I can't imagine not knitting either, but for some people life gets in the way. So that's my winter albina. I had some car time this weekend and didn't have scissors to switch between projects. I had to cut some colors. And so I did work a little bit on my crochet movie night. What's it called? Movie night cocoon cardigan, which is just the big granny square. So it is growing. If you pop in here on a Wednesday, sometime between 10 and 2, Joe is here and she's working on hers and she's just going like gangbusters on it and has just a couple more inches to do. I think I counted, I don't remember how many more rounds when we were looking at it. And of course it is slowing down because the rounds are getting longer, but it's so nice and mindless because it's just a big granny square. So it's just clusters of 3. The downside of crochet, there are lots of upsides of crochet where like if you fudge something, it's easy enough to fix where, oh, my cluster has 2 instead of 3. You can't really tell, just make your next cluster above it 3 and nobody will know. I did get a little tripped up trying to find it. Don't worry, I'll find it. It's gonna be the last one I look at. So if you've crocheted before or you're familiar with granny squares, you know you do the same thing all the way across and then you do twice as much in the corner in order to get that to open up. So all my clusters are clusters of 3. In the corner, it's 3, chain 2, 3, and that's how it grows. This little guy over here, a couple rows back, there it is. Can you see it? I only did one little 3 cluster. I didn't do the 3, chain 2, 3 like I was supposed to. So it got kind of funky, but my rows are this long and I didn't want to rip all that back. So what did I do? I just went in the next row and did a cluster between the first 2 and then a chain two, and then a cluster in the other two. And I really hope in the grand scheme of things, you're not gonna see that. I don't think you will. That's the beauty of this yarn being a little bit busy, is it will hide some of those mistakes. So making some progress on that. I have been crocheting for 15 years, I think. And I still don't understand, and I'm pretty good at it. And I still don't understand how there are people that can crochet and not look. Because even though I'm going in the big holes for the granny squares, I still need to look at where my hook's going in order to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. I cannot do crochet by feel. Knitting, I can do a lot by feel and just not have to pay any attention. But if anyone sees, poke them in the eye because they're too close. Yes. I have been known to say that a time or two. Okay, so my new project is a fun one. And when my Barocco rep was here, we talked about it. I ordered the yarns right away, got the pattern right away. The pattern is actually not even out until tomorrow. Tomorrow is when Barocco releases their fall winter 2025 patterns, their digital patterns. So this pattern will be available tomorrow. I do have kits in the colors that I'm doing. And this time I loved the picture so much, I decided to just do the colors in their photos because it's stunning. I think it's such a sharp look. The pattern is called Safdie, and it's Safdie. And it takes 3 skeins of Barocco's Ultra Alpaca, oops, I almost threw it down, Ultra Alpaca Chunky in their natural colors. So these are all undyed fibers. So one's like a heathery gray, one's a marled light and dark gray, and one's a marled black and white. And that like makes your eyes go a little dizzy when you're just looking at that on its own. But don't worry, it doesn't look like that in the cowl. So all I have is color numbers, but the kits are all these colors. It's $60 for the kits. You need 1 skein each of the 3 colors. And this beauty is what I'm making. So it's a big chunky cowl. It's a really cool take, modern take on mitered squares. And the way you do it is in columns. I want to say rows, but rows would be this way, columns. So this is what I have so far. Look at how cool that is. So yes, it's a lot of ends, but look at me being a responsible knitter and weaving them in as I go. I am doing the Weave and Steven method. I was going to have Melissa post a link to his YouTube video, but I didn't get that far because I got distracted by somebody saying they had an alternate method. But I'm doing the Weave and Steven on most of these, so trapping my little ends as I go. But you're working, starting with the larger mitered square, and then this one's a little smaller and that one's a little smaller. You join as you go. You're not seaming them together afterwards. But I just think it's so classy looking. And so the whole cowl calls for 6 strips. So I've got 4, almost 5 done here. So it's almost done. I think it's going to be beautiful. It's just going to be so beautiful and classy and look good on everybody. We do have some other chunky yarns that I think will work. I need to figure out how much this actually uses. I still have quite a bit left of each color. And again, I only have 1 more strip and 1 little block left to do. But again, it's done modularly. So my next square, I'll be picking up stitches along this edge and that edge and decreasing down. So you don't have to seam them together after the fact. So what did I say? Kits are $60. That includes a digital copy of the pattern. If you need us to print it out, we can do that. Pattern's available tomorrow. But I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. And I also think because it's done in those strips like that, if you wanted to make it bigger, to make it more of like a capelet, you just keep going with your strips until it's the width that you want, and then you seam it together after you're done with the last column. I don't know why that word is so hard for me to remember, you guys, but yeah, hi, Shelley. I was in love with the colors and the way they look. And, so essentially there are three columns that are different. And then the fourth column starts back with the first one. So it's a repeat. At this point, I'm not really having to look at the pattern to work on it. I just have to look at the colors that were in the last one. It's all garter, no purling. Even better for me because you guys know I hate to purl, but it's so squishy. So that I will have finished very soon. My goal was to do one strip every day, and it's easy enough to do because it's on size 10 needles. It's going very quickly. So if that's something you're interested in, pop in and ask about it. I've got enough yarn for 9 kits in these colors. And I'm getting distracted because they're cooking popcorn over at Cakes the Great and it smells so good. Sometimes the smells in here are just, it's a good thing it's a Monday and they're not actually open because otherwise I would find myself over there buying all the things I don't need right now. Okay, so those are the projects I'm working on. Talked about the kits. As a reminder, the Heartland Yarn Adventure is coming up the end of this month. And that goes July 25th through August 3rd. We are open every day, including Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So that would be August. Let's see, the 3rd is that Sunday. So we'll be open the 3rd. Whatever the end of July is, that I'm struggling, you guys, today with dates and stuff, but every day during the Heartland Yarn Adventure, we will be open. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we are open 11 to 3. The rest of the time, we are open 10 to 7, our usual hours. Can you order online? Send me a message or call me. I don't have the kits put up on the website yet. And I don't know if I will because I have a limited number of them. I should do that, but it's just a thing that I haven't gotten to. I could, that's, I guess that's the way I can put it. I need a person to do all of my website stuff and I just don't have that. It's just me. So, but send me a message or, we can reach out. I can make myself a note and reach out to you on Wednesday. Or give us a call at the shop 10 to 7 and we can get it shipped out to you. We can take credit card info over the phone. I can send you, if you preferred to use something like PayPal, or we can send you an invoice that way too. So passports, we have a few of those left. I think they sent us 25 passports and only 20 pins. So we only have a couple pins left. But we do still have quite a few of the passports. It's $5. If we have pins left, you get an enamel pin as well that says Heartland Yarn Adventure 2025. And it's a great reference to have a list of the shops in Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. Perfect, Pam. Thank you. Oh, it's not on my notes, but and Joyce, if you're on here, I don't remember if I saw that you're on here or not. Joyce is teaching a continental knitting class. It is starting a week from tomorrow. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me find my calendar. Planner. It's a 3-week class. It starts on the 15th, so it'll go the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th of July. 2 hours starting at 2 p.m. So I don't know if I put that in on our events calendar or not, but if that's something you're interested in, let me know or call us on Wednesday so we can get you signed up. I will make myself a note to try and put that in the calendar if it's not already. That way we can get you added to it. We can limit it to 5 or 6 people at the most. Joyce. Continental. Knitting. We do recommend if you don't see it on the shop website. Okay. Apparently I haven't posted it yet. I'm at 3 Tuesdays at 2 o'clock. Okay. 3 weeks, Tuesdays at 2 o'clock. Okay. Um, I will do that as soon as we're done. I could try and do it right now, but that would be Pam, Pat, and you want to take it. Okay, perfect. I will make sure that I get 3 spots saved for the 3 of you, Cheryl. We do recommend if you're taking any classes that are working with more than one color, whether it's the double knit class or a stranded color work class, taking a continental class really helps if you are an English style throw knitter. It just helps you get more familiar with holding the yarn in your left hand, knitting and purling. And Joyce teaches Norwegian purl, which is a fun thing too. So if you're a knitter and you've not done Norwegian purl, that's a fun thing. If you are a continental knitter and you want to learn how to be more ergonomic with your knitting, if you've ever sat and watched Joyce knit, her hands have very little movement. Like if you've watched me knit, my hands are all over the place. It's a lot like when I crochet. Her hands do a very small amount of movement. Yes, it's a little bit slower, but it's a lot better on your hands. So even if you are a continental knitter, but you knit like I do, it wouldn't be a bad idea to take one of her classes at some time in the future to try and hone your skills a little bit more. So let's see what else. Oh, I mentioned we got a new batch of yarn from Wonderland Yarns. We got a whole bunch of colors of their confetti tweed. So this is fingering weight, 437 yards, 92% superwash wool, 5% neps, 3% lurex. So they all have little tweedy bits. And let me find one that's not so bright. Guy. This guy is so pretty. So this is called Tut Tut. Don't mind the white strings. That's just keeping it from getting tangled. But can you see the beautiful, beautiful speckles in there? The sparkle on this yarn is not scratchy at all. It's so soft. And the sparkle is like a rainbow sparkle. It's not a silver. It's not a gold. Like I can look at it and see little flecks of gold and red and blue. It's just, it's so beautiful, you guys. So we got quite a few. I got some mixed bags. One just jumped off the shelf. I got some mixed bags and then I got bags of 6. So if you want a sweater, Karen has a sweater in the color Gravel Walk. Don't pay attention to what's behind these. I just brought them down low. Otherwise they would be way up there and you wouldn't be able to see them. So I had to shove them in front of a few things. But Karen's got a sweater in this Gravel Walk color that is a beautiful dark taupe. It's just gorgeous. This one has been a really popular one the last couple days, Cut Crystal. It's like a bluey purple. The shawl that's right here is called The Grass is Greener, and I knit that, and it's a fun combination of garter and brioche, but it's straight up and down brioche. You're not doing any sort of traveling with it. And what I used was Goat's Beard, which is just a really pretty light gray. And I don't remember if I used the variations Midnight Pearl or Dreaming Colored Black Pearl, but they're very similar. So just a light and dark gray, and you get that beautiful contrast. And because it's garter and brioche, it's completely reversible, which is a fun one. So if you want to try your hand at brioche, that's a fun one to do. It's not stranded color work. You're only working each row with one color at a time. But if you want to do a sweater out of it, any of these down here, we have sweaters quantity of. Look at this bramblewood. I tried to get mostly tonals or semi-solids because I think you see the speckles a little bit better and the sparkle a little bit better, but this one is kind of a speckly. This color is called Bramblewood, so there are speckles in the yarn plus the tweed. So these are $35 a spoon. And we've got lots of fun, like these oranges and the golds and the pinks and purples and reds, all sorts of good colors. So I use Dream of Color Smushy with Cashmere. Okay, which I don't have that color right now, but the Black Pearl or the Midnight Pearl would work just as well for that. So new colors of that in. We also got more colors of the Cotton Kiss, which I'm gonna grab a couple of those because we've pretty much only had tonal or solids in that, and I got a couple variegated ones that are really cool. So in the past, when we've gotten this yarn, the Cotton Kiss is a sport weight, 50% superwash merino, 50% cotton. Again, a Wonderland Yarns. The most variation we had was something like this or this, where it's a little bit of speckle, but it's still mostly a solid. These yarns have 372 yards in a sport weight, so it's a great all season yarn. But we got some new colors. This one's called Beyond the Mirror. And because of the cotton, you don't get real vibrant colors. You get kind of a toned down version of everything, which ends up looking just muted and beautiful. So this has like the purples and greens and pinks. That's Beyond the Mirror. Tea Time. I like their tea colors. So that's a pink base with the speckles of blue and dark pink. And then this one is really fun. We've not gotten anything like this before in the Cotton Kiss Prism. So it's a pale yellow base and then the speckles of like the rainbow of colors in there. So if you come in, check those out too. We've got them with the cotton blends. But we've gotten 2 shipments in the last week or so from Wonderland Yarns. So Amy's question, suggested shawl for the Tweety type yarns. The Grass is Greener is a great one, but I would say with the tonals, you could use it just like you would use any other fingering weight yarn. I just wouldn't do anything that's really, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything I would specifically avoid because I think Karen's sweater that she did in that gravel walk color I showed had lace in it. I can't remember what it was. Something specific for the Tweety color though. A one skein project like a spindrift shawl. I'm looking up at my wall, my shawl wall. Stephen West has an older shawl called Boneyard that I think would be really beautiful. Close to You would be a great one. If you go to Ravelry and go to the little yarn shop, in my favorites, I have a bundle that is all one skein projects. That's a great place to look. I've got one skein projects and then I've got 2 color projects. So if you wanted to do a 2 color shawl, look through there. And I tend to find ones where it's like 2 tonals, depending on the pattern, but got lots of ideas out there too. Let's see. What else? Oh, knitting at the farm did not happen yesterday. Ashley canceled it because of the impending stormy weather, and man, did some storms come through. I don't know if they actually hit out by at the farm, but we drove through some coming back from Lexington, and it got pretty nasty for a little while. I cannot imagine being set up at the farm with all your knitting and everything and trying to gather it and get to the car real quickly. So they did cancel it for yesterday. That means this coming Sunday, the farm at Apple Acres, which is on Salzburg Road between 2 and 3 mile, I think. 3 mile and 4 mile. It's on Salzburg Road. It's called the Farm at Apple Acres. It used to be, if you're from Bay City, you would know it as Tiny's Apple Farm for years. But now our friend Melissa owns it, and they have over 90 flavors of ice cream. In addition to having animals there, they've got chickens and pigeons and turkeys and Fergus, who is a little Highland cow calf, and he's so, so cute. They have, what else? They have a goat, more chickens, bunnies, lots of stuff for the kids to see. Sometimes they have a bonfire going if it's decent enough. 3 and 4 mile. Okay. You know, I used to live out that way, so I was trying to picture where my house was versus where the farm is. But so they usually show up around 2 o'clock. The ice cream store opens at 3, I think. I might have the times wrong. Might be 1 and 2. Anyway, in the afternoon, if you go, there are big apple trees that you can sit under and get shade. Take your own chair or blanket if you want to sit on the ground. But do take something to sit on or in. If you are also knitting out there with them, they do ask that you park toward the back of the parking lot and save the closer parking spots for their customers that are coming in for ice cream. And we want to be respectful of their business. It's ice cream season is short in Michigan, so we want them to flourish as much as possible. Or if you can't knit, just go out there. They are open 7 days a week until 9 o'clock every night. So check out the Farm at Apple Acres. They have sugar-free varieties. They have all dietary restriction varieties, dairy-free. So lots to choose from. The hardest part is deciding what kind to get. And so you just have to go back every day and try a different kind. That's my philosophy. Can't figure out why I'm not losing weight, you guys. So that is this Sunday, which would be whatever the date is for this Sunday. 6 plus 7 would be 13th. Other local businesses that I wanted to highlight. Pearl's Deli really showed up for us last Friday. With most of the market being closed, I reached out to him and asked him to put a platter together of sandwiches. He did 8 sandwiches, which filled up a platter plus 2 clamshells. He couldn't get them all on the platter. And he did a wide variety of different sandwiches for us. Was great. His vegetarian one, well, meat-free. Let's just call it meat-free sandwich is called, what's that one called? Is that the George? No. I can't remember what it's called, but it's really delicious. It has like an herby cream cheese, slices of cucumbers, lettuce. I don't even remember what else is on there, but a pesto. It's really, really delicious. Of course, all the ones with the ham and turkey and everything else are yummy as well. He gets pickles from Cool Crisp Pickles, which are from my hometown, which I think is kind of fun. The breads he uses are from the Detroit Bread Company. No, Michigan Bread Company, which is out of Detroit. So I appreciate him doing that. I also treated everybody to some Craven cookies. Sierra had posted that she had a few boxes of cookies left before the long weekend. So I snagged a dozen cookies from her, which ended up working out really well because I had Yolanda popped in to pick up her yarn and was kind of disappointed that the rest of the market was closed. And she said, oh, I wanted to get a snack. I wanted to get a Craven cookie. And I was like, I can help you with that. We got some. So, we try and make sure that everybody's needs get met as much as possible. The garden gremlin. Ah, there we go. Yes, it's delicious. Okay, I think that's all I have notes about today. So I'm glad I remembered about Joyce's class because I almost forgot. There will be 1 or 2 spots still left in that with the 3 signing up. That was Cheryl, Deb, and Pam. That doesn't leave a whole lot, but why does that not sound right? You know who you are, Cheryl, your group. Um, but we will be offering it again. If there's a class that you're interested in that you'd like to see us offer, let me know. We're always open to offering more things, and we are looking at doing more classes on Tuesdays, maybe some afternoons, like on a Thursday or Friday, when it gets a little quiet around here too. So we'll see. Play it by ear on that. Because about the time I say that, it starts to get busy again. So I hope everybody has a good week. I hope you had a good and safe holiday weekend. And if you're working on your Astropop, come hang out with us, show us your progress. Cheryl and Pat and Pam. I knew Deb didn't sound right. Okay. So yeah, come in here, see us. The market is back to normal operating hours this week, Wednesday through Saturday. We open at 10. The rest of the market opens at 11. Keep that in mind. The farmers market is at 10, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And if we don't see you, if we don't see you sometime this week back here, then I will be in here, back here at 7 o'clock next Monday. So have a good week and be creative, stay cool, enjoy the sunshine if you like it. If you don't, then stay inside where it's cool and just keep knitting or crocheting or sewing or quilting or cooking